welcome back to my channel. If this is the very first time you are clicking on one of my videos, welcome. My name is Gatwiri. I make random videos just out of the blues, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for clicking back. And yeah, so let's get on to today's video. So today's video, I'll be doing a reaction video about a series I am sure 98-ish% of you have already watched. So I'll be doing a reaction video about Prison Break. And yeah, so I don't have a lot to say. Okay, actually I have a lot to say, and I hope this video won't be a long ass video, but I will try. So Prison Break, let me just give you a little history about myself with Prison Break. So Prison Break is actually a series that started in 2005, so I wouldn't have watched it in 2005 honestly, because I was 5 years old. I just wanna job movies nini. So one of the reasons, actually the main reason why I watched Prison Break in 2020 is because I thought the series was overrated, honestly. Why? Because a lot of people used to mention it like all the time. I used to hear a lot of Prison Break here and there, and I just thought that it was just overrated for me in the beginning because I had not even watched it, so my mind was already set. And another reason was because just from the like the title or the name of the series, I actually thought it was going to involve a lot of violence and a lot of action, and I'm not really a person who's into action movies, so I was like, nah, it's never gonna be on the list of things that I want to watch. So yeah, actually my mind was like really set that I was never going to watch Prison Break, but I am ready to admit that I was very wrong
eventually.
And that Prison Break is a really nice series, and it is actually one of the best that I've watched so far. And so I remember the reason why I actually started watching it was because there was this period where a lot of you guys were like really hyped up about the next season that was coming out, and I just asked one of my friends, what is the hype about? Why are you guys so excited about watching this thing? Nini, as in, what is it about? Because I never actually got someone to tell me what Prison Break was about, because my mind was already set. It's an action movie. It will involve a lot of violence and a lot of spilling of blood, which I am definitely not a fan of. So a friend of mine told me that I should really watch it because it entailed a little bit of drama and a little bit of mystery, because I'm really into mystery series. So when I was told that it's about mystery and a lot of suspense, I was like really intrigued, and I was and I just thought, well, why don't I just give this a shot? Because it has 5 seasons. I could like maybe watch the first one, and I would know if I was going to continue watching it. So actually for me honestly, season 1 wasn't really season one was just, it was something that was really predictable, honestly. Because the first episode of season 1 was really eye-catching, and it's the one which like kept me going. And the reason is because I just felt left out, and I had nothing else to watch. I mean, we are on quarantine, tumefungiwa kwa nyumba, so there was nothing. What worse could happen? What worse could happen if I watched it? Because I'm wasting any of my time, because I have like all the time to spare. So I think season 1 was just like a lot of things were expected, because we already know that Michael was going to break his brother out of prison, so the other details were just extras. So I found season 1 not really interesting. But I just kept watching. I didn't even skip any episode, honestly. I just kept watching it because I wanted to see what was going to happen after they were out of prison. That was my main aim. So I was like really waiting for season 1 to end, so that I could start watching season 2 and find out what happened. So before I get to season 2, I am just going to mention some of my favorite characters in order from my most favorite. So my most favorite character was Lincoln. Lincoln Burrows was my favorite character. Why is because I just got attached to him because of his situation, or just what he was going through, because I really felt it. You can imagine being accused of doing a crime that you had completely nothing to do about it, and you get arrested and taken to prison. And then I know going to prison is like, I'm too jealous, life is going to go on, but no, as in they rush you to a death roll, as in they want to make sure that you die so that the truth cannot come out. That was another reason that I just got attached to him, as in I just felt pity for him and I just got so emotional. Another reason was because he really wanted a relationship with his son, but his son LJ was sort of reluctant. I don't know why. I don't know if he felt that Lincoln was not like a good father figure or something, but I really also envied the way he really wanted a relationship with his son. He used to want his son to visit him even when he was still in prison, even when he was still in handcuffs. And yeah, another reason was just because he really wanted to be there for his family. He really wanted to be there, and he just kept, when he never really had the hope that he was going to get out of prison, he just wanted like Kina Michael and Kina Veronica and Kina LJ to be just okay with it. So yeah, I actually thought in season 1 he was so selfless. And I remember when I told some of my friends that I was attached to Lincoln, they were like, no, you will get bored with him in season, I know it's season 3 or something. I was like, let us just wait and see. But honestly, he was my favorite character throughout the whole season, the whole series. My second favorite character was obviously Michael, because I am dead as sure all of you love Michael, like throughout, as in hakuna point tunasema Michael alikuwa amekupisi. Okay, maybe he might have, but I am sure just because he was the main character, he was like someone you want to see consistently. So my favorite character was Michael because of so many reasons. If I start mentioning them, my third favorite character was Sucre. Sucre was actually my third favorite character. I just loved his loyalty throughout the whole series. He was for you to be loyal to someone you do not even know, you have no information about, you do not even know him very well. He was really loyal to Michael and Lincoln throughout the whole series, and he was also very funny. He just had a very funny character. Because of the times when he was like angry or upset and then he ends up speaking in Spanish, I just used to find myself laughing. Another favorite character of mine was Mahone. A lot of you will say that you didn't actually like Mahone, especially in season 2, because he went around killing people and he went around trying to catch Michael and just the whole crew. But I actually think his character was amazing, because we found out that we found out that Michael was a genius, because of the way he just thought about all those things. He tattooed his whole body. So for you might think that Michael was the only person who was going to be able to think like that because he was a genius. But for me, I actually think that Mahone was also a genius because he like alichimbua ndasema kuchimbua, alichimbua kila idea, kila step, every trick, from the tattoos to like where he was going to go, to what was going to happen. So I actually think Mahone was also a genius, and it's just that he was on the wrong side at the beginning, because near the end he just switches sides. But I actually think Mahone was a really good character, and I really liked him from the beginning, as in I never had anything against him. I never wished like he was dead or something. So yeah, that was another favorite character of mine. And then the rest, because if I start mentioning character by character tutaimaliza. But I actually also think John Abruzzi, who was in season 1 and season 2 only because he got killed, I actually think he was also a great character, and I wished that he would have stayed longer, because I thought that they were going to be frenemies with Michael. And because in the beginning they were enemies, and then hapo katikati when they were just trying to break out, they sort of became friends. And then yeah, so I thought it was going to be like that, but apparently these people who produced the series thought that John was not going to be the best character for that, so they put T-Bag in place of John, as I expected. So T-Bag at the beginning, I won't lie by the way, I didn't actually like T-Bag, and I know most of you didn't like him. When you mlikuwa mnapenda T-Bag from season 1, how do you like a pedophile and a sex offender? Anyway, sorry, so I actually didn't like T-Bag from the beginning, because I just don't know, his character was just sort of off for me, but I like the way they like became sort of frenemies with Michael, because they became friends when they needed to work together, but they became enemies again when it was time like to split up. So I feel like Michael felt sort of very guilty because he helped a criminal that was not supposed to be outside. He helped a criminal that was not supposed to be released to get out of prison, and he used to feel guilty about it every time. So that is why after everything they did, he always tried to look for a way to get him back to prison. If you guys didn't notice that, then I don't know what you were watching. I don't know what you were learning from all this. So that was where their conflict came in, because okay, the main reason Michael used to do that because he felt guilty that he let him out, and T-Bag didn't like Michael because of the same reason, because he found out that every time they were after doing sort of a mission, or when they were just over with the whole thing, Michael used to find a way to screw him up, as in at the end of it, after needing his help, after just using him. You guys have to agree with me, Michael was a user. Michael was a user. Michael used to use these people, as in kama anajua he will need you for something, and then he won't need you anymore. He used to make you feel like you are the center, as if this thing can happen without you. So yeah, so Michael used to be I actually think Michael was a user. And because I like this part when T-Bag actually realized that Michael was going to screw him that time when they were getting out of prison, so he took a handcuff and handcuffed himself to Michael, which really resulted into something very painful for T-Bag, and I'm not even sorry.
Is it funny? No, it's not funny.
Because okay, I felt like sort of dizzy when I saw that part, but he deserved it. Honestly, that time I felt that he really deserved it. But it was like really a major scene in the whole series, because throughout the seasons we see how it comes in handy. So walimkata mkono, and I don't, was it Lincoln who cut off his hand? No, I guess it was John was the one who cut off T-Bag's hand. And yeah, so that was season 1 and season 2. Season 2 was when they were trying to get to the money. So I also liked the part when they got to that house where the money was like underground and all. That time when T-Bag took like a lot of magazines and put them in a similar bag that the one they were going to put the money in. And then I guess Michael and Sucre had a plan for them to like screw them over. Like it was sort of a prank-ish, because we didn't know in the beginning. So Sucre decides to turn his back on all of them and take the money and go. Lakini T-Bag pia alikuwa mwerevu. T-Bag was also very clever, because he actually thought that these guys were not going to, naona kama T-Bag used to know that these guys are going to screw me over all the time. So that is what he did. And then when Sucre sort of took the bag with the money, which was actually magazines, and then he ran off, what T-Bag did, he took the other bag and also ran off. And the other bag is the one that had the 5M. I mean, mniambia kama kijana hana akili, as in where T-Bag used to think. T-Bag used to think, my friends. So yeah, so when and Kina Sucre go and find out they do not have money, they don't have magazines, they just felt screwed up, I know. And I just, at that time, I was just like laughing. I was just like sort of really laughing, because I was like, kume T-Bag anaweza fikiria hadi kama kona hizi macrime zote, kume he can think. This guy can actually think. And yeah, so that was season 1 and season 2. So season 3 was when Michael and Lincoln got to that island. What is the name of that island? I can't remember. But when they got to the island where Sona is, so I don't know if you guys thought the same or found out the same, but I think the general had something to do with how Michael's plan was going to make him end up in that island. Because if they wanted Michael to release, as in to help Whistler escape, how did they know that he was going to be in that island where that guy was imprisoned in? So I don't know if they like read his mind, ama sijui walikuwa calculate aje. I don't know, I don't understand. But Michael ended up in that island, and one way or another he found himself in the prison where Whistler was. So when he got there, he had no option, because he was contacted and he was told the only way he was going to get out of that prison is if he helped this guy Whistler escape. So when he got there, he found out that Whistler was hiding, and he helped him remove that. He helped him remove the bounty. He helped him remove the bounty on his head so that he could like just walk around like any other prisoner over there. So yeah, but they got screwed up one way or another. And okay, the only part that I think I didn't like Lincoln was when Kina Gretchen had kidnapped LJ and Sarah, and then they sort of killed Sarah, as so we thought that they had killed Sarah, and he didn't tell Michael. So I actually think that part he was really selfish, because he wanted Michael to still go on with the plan, thinking that Sarah was still alive, just so that they could save LJ. I wish he would have just told him the whole truth in the beginning, because I am very sure Michael would still have done everything so that he could be able to save his nephew. So yeah, I actually think that part was really sad for Michael and also for Lincoln. He stooped so low, but anyway, it is just a movie, it's just a character we are going to be seeing. So anyway, so nini ingine happened season 3. Season 3 also has Mahone in prison. Mahone was in prison, and he was undergoing a lot of stress. He was withdrawn, he had a lot of depression, he was having hallucinations. So this guy, because the part that I really liked when they were in Sona was when when Michael told Mahone that they were going to escape together, akamwambia ni amtafutie a black felt pen or something, a black ink pen or something. Sasa mimi nilikuwa na kujiuliza, as in hadi Mahone hizi jiuliza, what is a pen for? How is a pen going to help in them escaping? Was it going to chimba a hole? Okay, anyway, imagine hapo ungebelieve, because Michael used to just use the smallest things to help him escape. So hadi mimi hapo ningeamini, lakini hapo alimcheza.
Don't provoke me to anger.
Like I told you guys, Michael was a user. Michael alikuwa anatumia watu vibaya. But still, at the end, they ended up escaping from Sona after 3 attempts. Actually, after 3 attempts, they ended up escaping. And they just got into a lot of more trouble, because the whole of Prison Break is about them getting in trouble and out and in again and out. So in season 4 is where we have them like working for this Homeland Security agent. He was working for Don Self. So Don Self was actually had like sort of a plan. He wasn't exactly working with this Homeland Security whatever. So he actually used Kina Michael to get hold of Scylla. He actually used Kina Michael to get hold of Scylla because he wanted to sell it, because walikuwa wameskate, it was worth a lot of money for those people who were like against the company and sort of wanted it to go down and wanted to do what the company were doing. So I actually think I wish Michael would have like known, like he would have just figured it before. But I actually think Michael used to be ahead, because ile time walimpea Scylla, he took out a part, he took out like a piece and hid it somewhere. So I actually think he was sharp. Alikuwa na kujua, alikuwa anataka kuona kama he will still have like sort of leverage over this guy if they got screwed, and it actually worked at the beginning. But also this guy was clever, so he got it back. And then what else happened in season 4? I don't know if it was in season 3 or season 4 that I remembered, I guess almost the last episodes of season 4 is when Paul Kellerman came back, and at first he was an enemy. He was actually an enemy at the beginning of the series in season 1 and season 2 there. But in season 4, ikiisha, was when C-Note was told to come and get these guys so that they could be exonerated of all their crimes, you know. So at that time they felt, or they thought that they have been exonerated, or they felt that they have. But then as they were doing the wedding and all, Sarah comes and gets arrested. I guess even on season 4 Elisha, when she got arrested, and then Sakina Michael had to come up with a plan to go and just help her escape again. So I guess, hey Michael, this guy was really clever. Come on, as a idea, 1, 2, 3, he can get 3 people out of prison, and then in season 5 he gets himself out of prison. Hey, kwanza me, I have a problem with my friends who watched Prison Break before me and did not tell me, because I actually thought in season 4, I guess about in season 4 ikiisha, was when we saw Michael's grave, and I was like, yo, why didn't my friends tell me that Michael is dying? As in, the main character is dying and you guys didn't even think to mention it to me. As in, I just found it so devastating, and I was like, how is he going to die? He is the main character. I mean, so how is this thing supposed to go on? But I just thought, I was like, there's another whole season about it. Like on almost 8 to 13 episodes. So how are they going to continue without Michael? So I was like, let us see. Maybe hapo ndo Michael Jr. pia yeye anakuwa mkubwa alafu anafanya hizo vitu. But then in season but in season 5 is when we see that Michael went to Yemen and he was arrested there as well. And what did he do there? Oh, they had changed his name and everything. And what else happens there? Oh, another reason why I tell you guys that I really liked Lincoln was because Lincoln used to sacrifice a lot for his family. Though he was dumb, as their mother put it, because they weren't like really siblings, they weren't like real brothers, they didn't share the same blood. I actually think also Lincoln was dumb anyway. But I actually think he did a lot for the family. Like he went to like extends to like just to bring the family together. Because at this part when he went to Yemen, he didn't exactly have he wasn't like 100% sure that Michael was alive, but he still went there. And then the time that he had to go to prison to see him, he gave out his passport just to go and see if his brother was really there. Hakuwa sure brother yake angekuwa hapo. So the fact that he gave out his passport just to make sure that he was going to see his brother was really something. It was really something. So yeah, when they went there, he found out that his brother was there, nini. So he sort of helped in how Michael escaped. And sasa hiyo process yote with those two guys, wao wanashindanga kupigana nao, msikumbuke vile alikuwa anaitwa. But yeah, all that stuff that happens. Alafu when now they come back. But then in each another interesting thing about this series is in every season there is always a new adventure. In season 1 it was about getting out of Fox River. In season 2 it was about getting the 5M. In season 3 it was about getting out of Sona. Season 4 was about getting Sila. Season 5 was about getting out of Yemen. So I actually think this series was well planned. And sasa in every season actually there's always a villain, there's always a bad guy. Season 1 it was the vice president or the president, that one. Season 2 it was Season 2 it was Mahone. Season 3 it was the general. Yeah, season 3 was the general. Season 4 was it? It was still the general, I guess. Season 4 was still the general. Alafu sasa nani akaingia hapo kwa hiyo nani Don Self. And then season 5 was Pasodian. So Pasodian, this guy actually ni kama alikuwa ameplan kutoka kitambo. He got married to Sarah. He married Sarah. And I guess he fell in love with her, and that is why he sent Michael to prison and made him change like his identity and everything. But Michael ni ule msee, guys. I've just remembered something. At the end of this video, I hope I'm going to find those memes. I'm going to share some of the memes that I saw that were really funny and they like cracked me up. Because there was this one. Well, I'll just share them at the end. But yeah, Michael was like the OG, so he found a way to like just get back to Sarah and the son. And actually I also think the son is going to end up like Michael because he's also sharp. He's a very sharp kid. So yeah, so And that was Prison Break for me. Sasa tunangoja season 6 because I have been seeing a few trailers here and there. Oh, season 5 ended. Okay, what am I expecting in season 6? What am I personally expecting in season 6? So in season 5 ended with Michael and his whole team got exonerated, like for real. And then Pasodian was sent to prison. T-Bag also ended up in prison. But I've remembered something. I was also very surprised to find out that T-Bag had a son. T-Bag had a son. Yani mwenyewe hadi hakuwa anajua he had a son, but T-Bag had a son. So yeah, it ended with Pasodian in prison in the same cell with T-Bag. I am really excited to see how that goes because one of them is going to end up dead. I hope. And we all know who we are hoping it's going to be. So yeah. And the whole happy family thing, because Lincoln was with Sheba and Michael was with his son and Sarah. And so in season and Michael was offered a job with those guys that exonerated him. So in season 6 I am hoping to see that Michael alikata ile job, but I am thinking that in season 6 in one way or another he's going to have to take that job. He's going to like not get forced, but circumstances are just going to like pressure him to take that job. And I also think that his son Michael Jr. is going to play a big part in season 6. I just have a feeling because haezi disappear hevo. And I also remember that in season 5 we did not see any part of LJ, so I hope to see him in season 6 just playing a part here and there. And Lincoln, of course. And what else? I'm also hoping to see what happens between Pasodian and T-Bag. I also hope T-Bag this time gets out of prison like for good, and he gets exonerated and all that stuff. And yeah, so let us just and I also hope, because in season 5 we do not see like Mahone a lot. I actually don't think we saw Mahone anywhere in season 5, so I also hope he appears in season 6, and Sucre as well. And yeah, and C-Note hapa na pale. Yeah, so I just hope season 6 is going to be as fun as season 2, 3, 4, and 5. And yeah, that is just my 2 cents opinion about the series and how I enjoyed watching it and my reaction to every season and every episode. So I would like that you guys get to tell me if you really enjoyed the series. If you haven't watched Prison Break yet, it is a high time you do. I know maybe if you have the same perspective as I did, that it is overrated, it is too hyped, maybe it involves action and you're not really into action, trust me, you are not going to regret watching Prison Break. So if you haven't started already, just like I did, it's not too late. Mtu kuambia ati umeanza late sijui nini. No, you still got time, sis. You still got time to watch it, because it's a very interesting series, and it's one of the series it's one of the series that I would really recommend it to my friends, those who haven't watched. So if you're my friend and you haven't watched it, you better do watch it. So yeah, that is all I have to say. Please let me know what you think about this video, and what are also your reviews or your reactions to the series Prison Break. Yeah, leave the comments down below. I always read my comments and I always reply. So, and I'm very sure that this one is going to be a very interesting like conversation in the comment section. So please do reply, please do leave your comments down below, and I will obviously check them out. And yeah, I will get to see you in my next videos. Bye.